Easy. Oh. Wait, what does that say? I don't know how to do that. It's just go here. I can't chat on mine. Good morning, Kenneth. Can you hear me? Okay, Kenneth responded, so I believe that you can. Okay. Is the microphone clear enough, or do I need to get some, you know what? Do I need to dig? It's almost time. Heard you now. Okay. Sounds clear to you. Okay, because I have not done much. I don't have much experience. Well, good evening from Spain. Oh, how wonderful to see you. Oh, I'm so glad you're joining us. I'm like honored that you want to come see me from Spain. And it is now 9:30. Welcome to Simply Live with SimplyLesa. And today we're going to talk about can gadgets help you in your off-grid life, as well as some updates. And I'm going to answer some viewer questions that I got in emails this week. Well, recently. I should say recently because I don't know what else. So to jump right into the can gadgets help you? Oh, and I decided to leave my hair down and let you guys see my hair and all my spring freckles because sunshine gives me freckles. It's a family thing. And sometimes when my hair is down, it bugs me. So I touch it a lot because it's in my way. But I thought I'd leave it down today. We're going to stay inside the studio, cabin, whatever people are calling it these days, tiny house, whatever. We're staying inside because I have a new gadget that is helping me. And hopefully the connection for this live is improved. And I hope at the end that you'll let me know whether it is or not. And if you have any technical difficulties with the live, if you would comment on it so I can go back and look at it, I would appreciate that. So Gadgets can help you. Things that we buy, things that are upgrades in life, can help you have a better off-grid experience. Absolutely. Um, this past week, I received a new cell phone that I was able to purchase. I was able to purchase it because one of you lovely people, um, well, I shouldn't say just one, a couple of you lovely people gave me a couple of really generous donations. Hi, Janet. Um, ha, Gave me a couple of generous donations that allowed me to step outside what was going on and upgrade both my phone and to purchase a WeBoost cell phone booster. I have 5 bars of signal where the phone is sitting currently. This is a corded, not a cordless cell phone booster that I have gotten. And I purchased the phone and the WeBoost a week ago, well, during the week past. And it arrived early this past week. And so I had to go to town to pick up. One part of it came USPS, the other part came UPS and was delivered to the door. Both of these items in combination with each other have given me a completely different outlook on the ability to do videos, to be able to do live streams. It's an incredible improvement. Of course, with, I within 5 miles of me there are 2 cell phone towers. One of them is Cell One, and the other one is a Verizon tower. And both of those towers obviously have been going through some changes. Verizon, kicking out the whole big 5G thing, has made some changes that were not allowing older, inexpensive phones to work as well. I don't really love seeing myself, as I'm filming this. I kind of have to watch myself on my screen on my phone, and I'm seeing my dark circles, and I'm aware that I've got some sinusy stuff going on. Spring allergies are starting to affect, and as if I don't have enough stuff with my food allergies and having MS, being diagnosed with MS, I have this stuffy, sniffly. Yeah, my eyes are all wonky this morning. But you know what? I brought my coffee, and I was able to another gadget, 2 other gadgets actually that are very helpful. I drink less coffee when I have really good coffee. I grind it myself, and because it's good, I can drink it black. If it's crappy coffee, or if it's the one instant I'm willing to buy and drink sometimes, I have to put stuff in it, and then, it's a whole other thing. So black coffee, I don't think you can see that, but black coffee anyways. A different coffee mug. I broke the other one that said my mug and had the teal color on it. I accidentally dropped it, and it shattered in a million pieces, so it's gone. So I was at Big Lots this past week or so. I was at Big Lots recently. I don't want to lie. Anyways, I don't know what day it was, but recently. And Big Lots has some pretty decent mugs, and I found this one, and it has a little lid that can go on top, and it's big and it's comfortable. So, but coffee gadgets. I used to love Coghlan's, which is a camping gear manufacturer, used to sell coffee filters that you put your own coffee into, and it had a stick that hung over your cup. And then you poured the water through the center of the filter that was inside your cup. And that's my favorite way to make coffee. But I can't find them anymore. And when I do find them, I buy a bunch of them because I just really love those. And especially, when I don't like washing dishes like everybody else. I don't like, have to clean up a lot. And so anything that makes life simpler and there's less cleaning involved, I do appreciate. But I also don't like plastics. And not that I'll never have them. I don't love plastics, but I need things to be lightweight, especially now. Okay, I need things to be lightweight, and I need things to be, easy to clean up, easy to maneuver, even to manage. Depends on which situation I'm in, whether I'm here at the studio cabin and conserving water because I have to order and have it delivered, and I'm trying to water a garden too, or it's winter and it will freeze, or I'm traveling in a vehicle, or 10 years ago I was hiking on the Appalachian Trail, and so I needed to carry everything. And when I travel internationally, I want my bag to be light. I want to travel light and often, but I want to be able to travel with only a carry-on bag. So, coffee and two new gadgets. Not one of them's not new, but two gadgets that I used for coffee recently. I'm going to step over here, and I can't really move the camera for the moment, or the phone. So I'm going to step over here, and this one is drippy. Let me get a paper towel. Yes, I'm still talking at you. Um, and so I have these two things. So I have for coffee, I have a manual hand coffee grinder. I love this shape. It could have some grippies on it for, traveling or whatever, but this one comes apart, and I only paid $10 for it. So, when I'm dealing with budget things, this makes yummy coffee, and it is a ceramic grinder inside, and it has an adjustable grind. So I can make it coarse or fine. And I think I've been making it too fine because I've been getting sludge in my cup. But anyways, and this one's a newer, like in the last month. This is called a brew spoon, and it is stainless steel mesh. And I just made this cup of coffee with it. That's why I've got a paper towel under it, because the coffee grounds are in it still. I didn't clean it yet. But it basically comes apart by you twist it like this, and then you fill coffee in the thicker part, and then you put the lid on and twist it. But it has shape enough to be similar to a spoon. So when I did get a new coffee mug, I can't do this way, I don't think. Well, I'm going to try. So when I went to buy a new coffee mug, I had to buy it wide enough to put my brew spoon down in it. And so you put it down in, you pour hot water over it, stir it a little bit, and let it sit. And I love it. Hi from Canada. I think it's Sarah. And so I'm putting this back. I'll be away from the picture for a minute. There we go. Or a few seconds, whatever. So gadgets do help. Absolutely. Absolutely, gadgets help. So that's a coffee gadget. I have tripod gadgets. Okay. This is an ultra pod. Okay. It has all these adjustment points on it. Okay. And so the ultra pod is the tripod part down here. It's very lightweight. I can use it as a selfie stick. And I can set it on a table. But it also has, it also has Velcro, so you can like attach it to a tree if you're outdoors. And it's really lightweight, so the ultralight hikers tend to use this quite a bit. And then I had found for camera things, well, phone use stuff, I found through some guy online this Ulanzi phone holder that has what's it called? A something shoe. is the screw part that's on the bottom. So it just screws on here. Another gadget that's helpful for my off-grid life. Okay, I really like that thing. You know, battery packs, even little Walmart ones like this, which was maybe $5. This is useful. I keep this one often in my pocketbook, sometimes in the car. But because my phone my old phone the battery used to die all the time on the thing. And so if I had this, I could at least, I'm in Walmart and I'm hunting for something and I can't find the name of it, or somebody calls me, I could plug in. So I have that. There's lots of gadgets in the world. But I want to get on to the fact that, I did buy the new to me phone. No, new phone. I bought a brand new my phone service is my free service that is Lifeline. The company that I use is SafeLink. SafeLink does have a way that they sell phones, a phone store thing. So I went on their website and I bought a BLU View 3 phone. And that's what I'm using today. It's what I used for the video I put out during the week. I think it's going to be wonderful. It's helping me to solve some of the problems that I've had with technology. And then I bought the WeBoost over-the-road truckers drive Sleek. And the Sleek is a handset. And so you put your phone in the cradle, not handset, cradle. And the cradle is attached through a cord to a brain or the mechanical part, the guts. I call it the guts. And it's a little thin thing. And then it has both power and antenna attached to it. And in the video that I posted earlier this week, I showed more about that. But I went from having 1 bar of signal and 10 minutes later I'd have 2 bars of signal to having 5 bars of signal right here, right in my studio. The plan is for me to always unplug it if there's a lightning storm, and to always unplug the new, so a friend gave me a solar panel a while back. And thank you, Scott. He had replaced ancient solar panels on his RV. And he had one that was good. I don't remember if he had 2, but maybe one of them wasn't good. This one was still putting out power. And so he gave it to me, and it's a monocrystalline. So, it's a large panel. It's older, maybe from the 90s. Anyways, I have company right now. The company helped me to mount that solar panel near the door of the back door of the studio cabin on the pergola. And that now is wired inside through a window thing. We have it wired inside along with the WeBoost so that I can charge either. I have 2 battery packs. I have a 166 watt Boden's battery pack that Bob Wells gave me. I did a video for him about it, and it came with a 100 watt solar panel. And I also have from my friend John, who has on the YouTube channel Frugal Off-Grid Homestead, or Frugal Off-Grid Arizona Homestead. Anyways, John gifted me a 300 watt Rock Pals battery pack, and that also came with a 100 watt solar panel. So I have 2 battery packs, and now this panel is stationary here. So I don't have to keep going outside and unfolding the panels every day. What a big change that's going to make to the life I have when I'm here on the property. So again, gadgets, and again, useful. So the power's running in, and right now I've got the power running to the Rock Pals, which is at 93% full. And both of them are full. They ran on the solar panel yesterday, so they're both full. But because I chose the WeBoost Sleek, the phone has to stay in the cradle. Now, this being the newer 5G model or 5G compatible model that WeBoost sells, it does have long cords, and I can hold the phone cradle like this. And so I can move around with it. But when we installed it, we wound up all the cord and put Velcro ties on it so that it was out of the way. And I really hadn't thought about it yet. I mean, we just did this 2-3 days ago. So I hadn't even thought about the fact that I might want to like hold the phone and move on the other side of the room. I haven't even thought about that stuff yet. So for now, this is where the signal's the best. And the plan is, because this is a cell phone booster, a signal booster that's made for your vehicle. And so as soon as I can, I will be learning and figuring out how to mount this on the tracker, because I will be able to just simply unhook cords, cables, and move the WeBoost to the tracker. I'm pointing at it where it's in the yard. Isn't that silly? But I will be able to just unhook it from here and move it over to the tracker for when I'm ready to go on a trip. Yay. But when I'm at home, if there's a lightning storm, I have not done any research to find an inline lightning protector kind of thing for the WeBoost. And just for a safety factor and probably a little bit of, extra safety. Safety's an issue for me. So probably a little extra safety thing. My plan is to unplug the solar panel and the WeBoost connectors to the antenna and just lay them on the floor if there was a lightning storm, because we get some serious lightning up here. And that's if I'm home, right? If I'm not home, like if I'm traveling, the WeBoost will be on the vehicle with me. So, okay, that's the WeBoost stuff. Let me see what else. What else did I have for things to talk to you about? Oh, by the way, I was an artist and I really am a creative person. And often when I go I love color and stuff, but often when I go to a home store like a Lowe's or a Home Depot or Ace Hardware or something like that, and they have paint chips, that's my scrap paper, is paint chips, because it makes me happy. So it's what I do. So my notes today are on a paint chip that's kind of a turquoise color. So let's see. So I talked about the new phone I got and the booster. Oh, and my future plans for that, just so you have that update, is to not only do what I'm doing now, I still have to contact SafeLink and find out what's wrong with the tethering program, because I'm supposed to be able to tether 10 gigs from my phone to something else, but I can't make it work right now. And I haven't used my 10 gigs this month. Well, and now we have a new month. I didn't use it last month. So now it's a new month starting, and it's like, could I make the hotspot work? Because then I could start to use my new Chromebook and I'd get even better. I would be able to be chatting with you guys while we're filming with the phone. So the plan is to get that straight. And then after that straight, and as I can afford it, I'm still working with Visible to figure out what their addressing doesn't accept my addressing. Don't know what the problem is, but I'm working with Visible. I'm still trying to get a Visible account because it will allow me to have unlimited hotspotting, which will let me use the computer more. And that is something that I really want to be able to do because then I could edit videos, which I should be able to learn how to edit videos on this new phone. But of course, my older and MS eyes, it would be nice if I could use the computer to do some of these things and to use YouTube Studio. So I'm looking forward to that on the phone, WeBoost, computer technology side of and working with my videos. Okay. I was able to have my mechanic ride with me this week, and so he was able to see more about what's been happening with the tracker. I've had a couple of small issues with it, and one of them is when we bought it. It is not my personality, and I never would have had a glass pack muffler or a cherry bomb muffler on my tracker, but it came with it. And so now that he's driven it and ridden with me uh, a little more distance, he said, "Yeah, I think that muffler's gonna go." So at some point, we'll replace the muffler. I don't know what that will cost, but that will happen. Another thing that I have, I have a C12 Alpa-Cool refrigerator. It's going to go in the tracker, but it can come out of the tracker just like the WeBoost. It can come out of the tracker and come inside and be used inside when I'm at home as well. So this double life thing is starting to look like it's going to work out. Oh, and the weather too. Um, 2 weeks ago it was 80 degrees, and then we had last week sometime we had snow, and then now it's like, I don't know, it's 70 something right now. It's just spring. It's finally spring. So I'm starting to work on gardens and things like that. Yes, the fridge is another gadget that can help um, off-grid life. Whether it's your travel life or your micro homestead life or whatever, it can help. And the one I chose is very small. I can run it on the amount of power I have. And, my priorities are how I'm making decisions. And I, I was surprised that I can run this little C12 on the 166 watt Bowden's uh, power pack. I was in shock. It would run on that amount. It only runs 4 amps when, I mean, 4 amps when the compressor kicks on. And it can be set as a freezer or as a refrigerator. And so my thought was, when choosing it, was when I'm traveling in the car, the cars get hot. And even I don't normally refrigerate eggs, but even I, who don't like to refrigerate eggs, when the car is super hot and I have to close it up and lock it up for safety reasons, like to go do something or be in a store or whatever, it's hard to keep eggs from going bad. And I mean, I haven't had the problem, but why fight it? And I would like my life to be a little easier. So I chose the size partially because it would fit in the tracker easily, partially because of how much power it was going to take. I also chose it because I can dedicate it as a freezer completely or as a refrigerator completely. It's not both. It's not dual zone. It's only one. But if I want to be out on some dirt road exploring, having an adventure, and I want to be gone 2 or 3 weeks, I should be able to put this in freezer mode and run it with the power banks that I have and off the car while the tracker while I'm driving. And I should be able to keep frozen things, frozen meats, maybe some ice cream. There's one brand of ice cream sometimes I can have. Or I can make ice cream with coconut milk. But to be able to have a little more variety in my diet. I'm so used to using the dehydrated ingredients and making my own foods that it's not running right now because I don't have anything to put in it. But of course, I also, another option for me is to run it as a refrigerator, and then I can have more salad ingredients and stuff like that. So I really like the fact that I'm going to be able to have this as an upgrade in my life. And it is a gadget. It totally is. I do not consider it a necessity. Yet that's for me in my lifestyle. But I've learned over the years that some of the things that we in the United States generally consider to be necessities, they're really not. And in the whole scheme of the world, some of these things we're used to, they're not necessities. I'm not going to die because I can't have a refrigerator. But then, of course, Lesa has skills and I've learned some things. But anybody can have these skills. And you can reframe what you think is a necessity by looking at priorities, you know. And so I have ways to do things without a refrigerator. But what a blessing that I can have this luxury at this time in my life to go forward with. So that's another one. Let's see. The weather has improved so much that, yay, yesterday I was able to put out the solar shower. I have a 2.5 gallon solar shower that has a thermometer on it. In Arizona, the sun is hot. And I have more than once had just the, you know, inexpensive black solar shower bags and burned myself. So I now only buy solar showers bags that have thermometers on them because I don't like it burned. So I have a 2.5 gallon one. I can lift that easily and I can get a pretty good shower with it. I prefer a hair more water when I'm washing my hair because it's so long, but it's fine. It does the job. So the weather's so much better that I was able to use that gadget and take a good shower yesterday. Of course, baby wipes aren't exactly a gadget, but they do help us. And because I choose baby wipes that have very few ingredients in them, I'm able to even wash dishes with them. Now, sometimes it's my initial wash. Like some people I know in the nomadic, van dwelling, overlanded world, some people take a paper towel and wipe out their dish and then put that in the trash or burn it in their fire pit or whatever, campfire or whatever. I don't do that. I'm able to use the baby wipes I have because they have so few ingredients. So my initial clean is with that, and then I use water to like rinse it out, whatever. Let's see. I was able to, sometime in the last couple of months or so, I upgraded my gray water system for inside the cabin studio. And I have a gray water system, a manual, limited limited capacity gray water system. And it's not permitted because it's not big enough for that, because I don't even have like a sink with plumbing or anything. So, oh, hi, Iris. And hi, Judith. I see you. So what I have for gray water is gadgety. Okay. I have these. I think I can show you. I'm again going to step this way and bring something back. I because of how much weight, whoops, I dropped some. Because of how much weight I lift, because of my back hurting, I buy these 3-gallon water containers from my local Walmart. They're around $6. Now you see that's ugly colored water in the bottom. This is my gray water jug. And so it's a 3-gallon container, and I have right now I only have 3 of these. I think I gifted one to someone who needed something. But 2 of mine have got filtered water in them, and then I have a USB water pump that sits on top. I could bring, well, it'll drip. But anyways, so I have the 2 stacked up with the USB water pump sitting on the top, and that's how I get water out of those for clean water. And then for gray water, these are also sold in Walmart and car places. It's a high-speed funnel designed to hold 1-quart bottles, okay? These are about $2 or $3. It's messy looking inside. It has toothpaste splatters in it. I set it on here. I need to make a little thing that will go like out of a piece of pipe that'll go on the outside of the jug so it won't wobble, okay? But for right now, I just set it like this, and I set this on the floor over there. And when I'm washing dishes, I wash them in a bowl, and then I can dump the water in here. Well, then this I can take outside, and my gray water system outside, now I'll sit back down and tell you about that. My gray water system outside is a 5-gallon bucket with rocks in it as a filter, and it's partially buried inside one of my garden beds. And it has the rocks, and it has some holes so I dump that water into that 5-gallon bucket. I remove the lid, dump the water in the 5-gallon bucket. And over time, it filters down through the rocks, and this one doesn't have sand in it. It just has rocks. But anyways, it filters down through through the rocks, and goes out the holes into the garden bed. So I'm filtering the gray water and watering the garden at the same time. So that's what I'm doing for my small use. This, when people visit me that are van dwellers and they have a gray water jug in their rig, I encourage them to dump it in my gray water system outside and not just dump it on the ground. That way I'm watering something I care about. So that's one method of doing that. And that is a little gadgety. Of course, my water system's a little gadgety with the USB water pump as well. Now, with the weather getting better, I'm starting to work on gardening things. And hoses aren't exactly gadgets, but boy, have I been struggling with my hoses, because I have really heavy commercial hoses, and I don't have my water system run probably the way I should. So I'm going to have to rethink that. And I sure could use a lighter weight way or a better way to get the water over the hose over to the garden bed, because having to drag that heavy commercial 100-foot hose between one garden bed and another twice a day right now when there's seeds in the ground, that is not working for me. So that's something I'm going to have to work on. And I did finally, if you saw that last video, I did finally do some work in Ozzy's cactus garden, and it's looking real nice. So I'm going to move. I have some hens and chickens, succulents, and I'm going to move those over there as well. It's easier for me to water them over there at the moment. I need to stop looking at the phone and seeing my hair be parted in the wrong place. So let's see. I think I covered as much gadgety stuff as I could think of for the moment. I do need to go back and check your chats where you guys have been talking and see if you had any questions. Anybody want to ask me a question? Please put a uppercase Q or a bunch of them, and then ask me your question, and I'll see what I can do to get that answered. But I got a couple of emails. Oh, before the emails, I'm turning my paper around. Can gadgets help your off-grid life? So yes and no. Choose wisely, know what you need. And how do you know what you need? By knowing yourself. And how do you know yourself? By figuring out your priorities and asking yourself questions based on those priorities. That will help you. That's what I do. That will help you to do that. So now, questions. Sandy sent me an email and asked me, how much land do I have? 10 acres. Who did I buy my land from? I have not asked that person whether I can use their name, but I will use their first name only, Steve. It is a friend that I met through RTRs. He was at my first RTR, and I love that guy. How much did I pay? I'm not telling you. I was blessed in an incredible way. But I think the real true question you were asking, Sandy, is how much does land cost out here? And land is worth $500 to $700 an acre in 40-acre or less parcels. In 100-acre parcels, it's worth $200 an acre. And that is information I've had for years from my real estate people, and I checked back in and it's still true. Is that what people are paying for land out here? No. We have a lot of newbies, as you can imagine. Lots of people from more city situations are moving to off-grid places. They're concerned about the culture and whatever in the United States, and so they are trying to move off-grid. Because of that, when they get here, if they haven't done their research very good, sometimes they just are excited because they can afford a piece of land and they're not checking the pricing. And so, for example, I know someone who I had done some negotiations for them in order for them to get around an acre of property. And they were so excited that they thought they could afford the land that they paid twice what I had negotiated for them. They just said yes without. I was standing there with them, and they agreed to pay what the person first said, and I had already negotiated the price at half of what they paid. And so I think do your homework, because when you come from a different area to an off-grid area, and it's too easy to pay way too much for your land. So that being said, you ought to be able to get 5 acres for something like $2,500. But I know people are paying $7,000 for 5 acres right now because people can get it because people aren't doing their homework. And other people I know, in fact, some of my newer neighbors, they're paying something like $25,000 for 40 acres. That's reasonable. And there are rent to own deals or owner finance and things out here. Those things can happen. So, okay, Sandy's questions. I'm going back. So how much I paid, not telling you. Can I live unrestricted on my land out here? Well, yes. But you do need to check that the county in the United States, at least, that the county that you're going to move into accepts what you want to do, because things are changing because so many people are coming out to off-grid areas. So, for example, our county keeps, they don't want to lose all of us, but they keep going, well, maybe we shouldn't let you live in everything you want to live in, because then we have to go rescue you because we had 60 miles or 65-mile-an-hour winds and your house blew apart. And then we have to take care of you because you don't know what to do. Or you come out here with a bunch of kids and your pipes freeze up and you don't know what to do about it. So the county's kind of going, yeah, we want to work with you, but we don't want to have to pay for your life. You know, we don't want to have to see another person die because they didn't know how to survive. So that's why some of the regulations start to happen in off-grid areas, is because people don't know enough to take care of themselves. So right now in my county, Apache County, we can live in an unrestricted way. Yes, not so much, depends on which area of the county you're in. If you are, for example, in the Concho Vernon area, you're much closer to Show Low. You're much, there's many more people. You have the opportunity to either be off grid or on grid. You could actually pay a reasonable amount to get electrical power in that general Concho area. And because of that, you're going to have more regulations, because more of your neighbors would complain if you started a junkyard and you didn't ask the county. You know, and sometimes starting a junkyard starts with, well, the car didn't work, so we parked it out back and we got a new one and then we didn't move it. Well, you know, it won't take long and somebody's going to complain and you're going to have to move those things and get rid of them or something. And the same thing will happen with your building practices. It is still legal in Apache County to build an unpermitted outbuilding that is less than 200 square feet. It is still legal in Apache County today for you to bring your camper out here and live in your camper. We don't know how long it'll stay the way it is. The county has, I was at a meeting a few months ago. The county has again said we need to be careful with this, with the RV thing, because, you know, people are coming out here and living in, you know, RVs that aren't safe, or they're, I knew a guy years ago, he's passed away now, but he had just taken his RV sewer hose and run it out back down a hill. And I don't want that, as I don't want you to be my neighbor doing things that way. And so that's why permits come up and things. Now, Apache County has just recently, in the last few weeks, come up with a free permit for a composting toilet system. It's a batch system. You have to build the toilet the way they want it built, but you can get a free permit and build one their way and be very legal. And then you get your free post office box from the Postal Service as well. They also are working on, I have not heard whether it's available yet. They are working on a free permit for a low cost, one kitchen sink black tank system. And it will have to be built by their specifications. You also can get a free permit for an outhouse. Pit toilet outhouse has to be built by their regulations. They have blueprints for it. And no, you do not have to do those things. Hush, hush. As long as your neighbors aren't complaining, as long as you're doing things in a very, as long as you're careful, you can do. Because you can have outbuildings of less than 200 square feet can be on your property. Yes. Can you live in them? Technically, no. technically, they don't want you living in anything without an occupancy permit, but they don't even have a permit. The last time I checked in the last month, they did not have a permit for you to be able to live inside your RV still. They used to. And I think that's in the works again, that they will have some kind of like, I intend to live in my RV kind of permit thing. But they will, I'm sure they will be checking for how you're disposing of your black tanks and your sewerage, and how you're taking care of your gray water, which is from sinks, laundry, showers. So they're going to want to know what you're doing in order to protect everybody. So that's what that's all about. And how are you going to find land? Well, there's everything from Zillow to LandWatch to what's country? I forget what that thing's called. There's another like an off-grid land thing online. My friend Estelle White is still working as a real estate agent, but she said she'd been so busy. I'm not sure if she wants to work or not, but she's still around. I know that there are lots there are 5-acre lots within less than a mile of me that are for sale. Don't remember who has them, but it might be LandWatch that has those. You know, the roads are improving out here. They improved the road coming up my way. Now, let me see what we have for, what did you guys say up in here for chats? Hello from Florida. Oh, my fingers will be in the way if I do some of that. Great way to stretch the water. We should all be conservative. Yeah, yes, and water bladders. When I get working on the tracker, there's things to show you. I don't know if I'm going to be able to afford some of the things I want right away, but whatever. Couldn't you mix scalding hot water with colder water and stretch this shower? Oh, I do that. I do that, but my shower bag is only one size. I have a different container that I use when I'm using my USB water pump to have my shower. And the shower bag is the one I usually take in the car with me. And anyways, whatever. Judith, hi, watching from Canada. Wonderful. Oh man, Sarah, I'd love to be up there with you. Thank you so much, Sarah. You called me a chick. And sounds clear. Okay, you guys were talking about voice. Any questions you guys have? I don't know if I can jump over. So I'm not going to do it because I'm not sure I can and not lose you. But I had asked this morning when I posted that I was having the live, I asked for questions. And I'm afraid that if I try to go there now, I'll lose the connection. I'll lose the live. So I don't see how I can do that. Yeah, I don't see how I can do that. So I think I'd rather not. Do I have more things I can talk to you about? The cat, little bits here. She's doing a great job. Big girl took off again. I don't know, she was here a couple of days, seemed to be happy, and then I saw her walking away and she hasn't come back. So I don't know. I don't think they're dead. I think maybe she's, in heat and she's running around. I don't know. But so that's the cats. I am starting to work on gardens. I do have company. Oh, I should talk about this. I do have company, and what is it? In 2 weeks, it'll be time for the Northeast Arizona get-together, which I do during, for me, for whoever camps with me, I don't care. You don't have to believe like I do to camp with me. But I take the opportunity that it's spring festival season or holy day season, that's when I chose to do my get together. So for me, the timing that I set up for the get together is Passover unleavened bread, Passover night to be much observed, which is the lamb dinner I always put on, and then unleavened bread. And I like to be able to be camping myself. I have company here who's on their way to their property in New Mexico, and this is a common thing. My safe, friendly people that I know well enough that whatever, I let them come stay here when they're traveling across I-40. I'm fairly close. So this person comes spring and fall on his way to his property and on his way back south in the winter. And he's helping me do some of these installs. He mentioned that he's going to go shopping somewhere that I go shopping from here anyways. And then he's going to go visit some friends of ours. These friends are less than 2 hours away. And I'm wondering if I can pull the tracker together enough to kind of follow him and go with, so that I'm not traveling alone. So I get, so I figure out the bugs with the tracker. I'm saying bugs. I mean, the bugs in my build kind of thing, because it's going to be a version 1 build using what I've already got. So I'm hoping to video that stuff in the next couple of days, because I only have like 3 days to get ready if I'm going to actually go with them. If I'm not, then I have more time. And I'm starting to lean toward having the get together here at my property. I used to, and I stopped doing it when I had some very rude people come and disrespect me on my own property. And I will not do that again. Hi, Jill. I will not allow people to come here and disrespect me or my property again. So if you were planning to come to the Northeast Arizona spring get together, and this will be the 10th. I know that the numbers are off if you've seen it in any of the Bob Wells stuff. The numbers are off because years ago, I didn't tell people that I got together with people every year. And so then it was like, well, maybe I should make it official. And so I've only officially done it once or twice. And so it looks as if I've changed the numbers. No, I've been doing this since 2011. When I started living in the van in Vantucket in 2011, spring holy days, I did a get together, and fall holy days, I did a get together. And my fall holy days, my goal is to have a tent to stay in during that, because, in history, it was all about celebrating and remembering the nomads and the Israelites walking around in the desert. And there's a whole Orthodox Jewish thing where they live in tents. And even like in Brooklyn, you'll see them during the fall holy day seasons. They have little booths set up, and like the restaurants serve their food out in the booths. You can't eat inside. And so that's kind of one of my goals, is to like have a tent for the fall holy days. Anyway, all that being said, a lot of talking again. Spring holy days. If not many people want to come, that's fine. But I haven't had much interest this year. But as we do it, I believe, so this will be, I set it up for the 14th through the 23rd. And I'm thinking that if that's too long for people, it could be just 4 days. And maybe next year I'll just call it just 4 days. And if somebody wants to stay longer, we'll talk. But I'm really leaning toward the weather's pretty good. Let's have it at my house this year, because I'm not all the way ready for traveling. And then hopefully in May, I got to get back with the Overland Expo West people. But hopefully, Overland Expo West in Flagstaff, I'm still going to be a DIY vehicle that I'll be showing mine off up there. And so I'll be available at the Overland Expo West. I hope that that's still true. So I got to get back together with them and start cramming on getting that stuff together as I'm figuring out my equipment, but it's getting easier. So do if you want to come to this spring's uh, Northeast Arizona get together, you do need to contact me like I've always done. This is my standard for me. Okay. Now, other people do their things their way. But for me, GPS does not work where I am currently. And you have to contact me. That allows me two things. It allows me to kind of check who you are as a person. It allows me to make sure I have space for the rigs. I have crammed up to 15 people here before, but that's a lot. There is BLM land within the general area. You can go camp on BLM land all you want. That's open. You can go camp on BLM land and just come over for night to be much observed, which in the Jewish world they call Seder dinner. But I grew up with it different and a tradition for me. And you don't have to believe like me. It's just a community lamb dinner thing. But my point is, you must get a hold of me. I have to know how many people I'm cooking for. I have to make sure I can afford to do all of that. I do cook lamb. I do have options for people who are vegan and vegetarian and all of that stuff, because I lean heavily that direction. But because I eat lamb and sometimes I have eggs, I don't call myself something else. So we will have lamb for, and that dinner will be the 15th. I'm looking at my calendar on the wall. So that dinner, night to be much observed dinner, is sunset on the 15th. So, but if you're coming, part of the reason that I always say you have to contact me personally, you can use my email, SimplyLesa@gmail.com. Lesa is spelled Lesa. Send me an email, put all caps, get to GTG. That way I can find it faster when I'm reading my emails. You have to contact me because you have to get directions to know how to get here. That allows me to make sure that I feel safe with you coming to my home. And that allows me to know what size your rig is so I know how many people I can get in here. That's the honest truth with all of that. That's why I set it up that way. And so feel free to contact me if you would like to come. That entire time is the 14th through the 23rd. I do not do a program, but it is Spring Holy Days for me. I only ask that while you're on my property, because for me, the Spring Holy Days include unleavened bread. I would appreciate it that if you would eat your sandwiches inside your own rig. Keep your bread and leavened items, because I'm not going to do that. And I'm going to have my place clean. Would you please keep those things inside your own rig when you're here? That's all. That just honors me as I'm doing my my tradition, and I'm remembering some events from history that seem important to me to keep. And but you do you in your rig. And then when you're visiting me, you just honor me in my space. And my space is a 10-acre space. Outside of that, you do what you want to do within reason. You know, I mean, I do have neighbors to kind of respect and, you know, be respectful. Don't come in here like somebody did one year and say, I don't care who you are and I don't care what you're doing. I can come for you. Because you do that, and I'm going to immediately ask you to leave. And if you don't leave, then I am going to get a neighbor who has offered to be a bouncer of sorts, I will ask him to come and help get you, remove you from my property, because I don't accept that. And I also do not accept, just up front, um, somebody one year called it the Lesa laws. They're not my laws, but I also, on my property, do not allow people to be drunk. You may drink, you may get happy, you may be, what, but if you get drunk, I will ask you to go back to your own rig and sleep it off or something. Give yourself a break. And then when you're not drunk, you can join us again. If you can't live without being drunk, I'll ask you to leave. So, and if you're annoying or you won't comply with the go, please go home, you've had too much, go back to your rig. If you can't comply with that, then I also will ask you to leave. But those are basically and I do ask, okay, and I do ask that because I'm allergic to marijuana. And when I am out camping with other people in the big world outside of my property, we have little campfires at night and stuff. And sometimes I try to go. And there's often a lot of weed being smoked, not smoking, at the campfires in the evenings. I can't join you because I get sick. And so I sometimes will attempt it, and you'll see me try to be there. So when you come to my home, I ask you to please not smoke your weed at my campfire, because I want to join you. And I really ask that it's not illegal anymore. So I just ask that you be respectful with it. Do not put your cigarette butts and things on the ground. I got number 10 cans. You can have them for ashtrays. But, don't leave me cigarette butts. Don't leave me, chunks of marijuana. Don't plant marijuana in my garden, please. I'm allergic. So those are basically, I don't think I ask for anything else. You guys that are out there, in most of the people who would be coming know how to camp out in our boondock. It is boondocking. I have no services. I can share water when my tank is full. It should be pretty good right now. I'm watering seedlings in the garden, so I'm using a little more right now in this season. But I don't provide anything. I do have a couple of campsites that are very level. Not everything's level. If you need leveler blocks, get yourself some. Or I do have a few pieces of like 2x6 that can make a. You could drive your rig up on and make a block out of it. There's plenty of campsites. I act like I'm having a horrible like asthma attack. I cough. I don't really break out in hives, but I do this really serious coughing thing and I can't stop. And I get doubled over with like, I just can't breathe, but it's a coughing thing more than anything else. And I sound like I've got, pneumonia or something. It's horrible. And it takes me days to get over it. So, some of these things, my reactions, my allergy things are not fun. I accidentally ate some Chinese food recently. It took 3 days to get over the ginger. I'm allergic to ginger. Let's see. I have quite a few tent sites here. So if we start to get tight with vehicles, but I try not to have too many people right here. But anyways, yeah, I don't. Have you ever seen anybody have an asthma attack? I mean, the kind where they are doubled over, like I'm doubled over and coughing so hard that it's hard to get a breath between the cough. And I know that my glands, well, wrong thing. The thing that when I was young, they used to tell me it was my glands were swelling. It was anaphylactic shock. It was my throat closing up. So yeah, my throat closes. Yeah, and my lungs burn with the marijuana. It's like my lungs are burning when it happens. So yeah, yeah, it's not worth it. Oh, and I get instant migraines. I forgot about that. Yeah, it's just not worth it to me. Yeah. So any questions you guys have? Because I feel like it's about an hour, and I just looked at the clock, and it's actually a few minutes after the hour. So I could take a few questions if you'd like. Um, Again, if you would like to come to the get together, please contact me. I will go back out on the van life forums or whatever they're calling that thing now, and I will update that notification I had put out. I will go out onto Bob's Cheap RV Living, and I will do an updated note to the announcement that's on his calendar so people know how to get a hold of me and where it's going to be. We are going to be on my property, but I am going to be very choosy. You know, if there's a personality that I just don't feel comfortable with, I won't allow them to come. And I don't mean that bad. You know, thank you so much, Sarah. But so I am going to be preparing, getting ready for that. I won't do the grocery shopping until after the 7th. And then, so on the 14th, which is the first day of the get together, along with helping people get settled on the 14th, I will do for anybody who understands spring holy day things. I will provide a wash pan, warm or hot water, and towels for anyone who would like to participate in um, a foot washing ceremony at sunset. And anybody who would like to do that, you could contact me about that separately or whatever. But I provide that as a service to anybody who has a similar belief. If you don't, just skip it. It's just something I do because I believe in it. And you don't have to do that in order to be here for the get together at all. At all. But I've had a lot of people just want to watch and see what we do. I just get down on my knees and I wash somebody else's feet, and I put some, depending on which essential oils I happen to have here. Sometimes I use lavender. I ask the person first. Sometimes I use lavender. Sometimes it's olive oil. Sometimes it's frankincense and myrrh. But we just, wash feet, oil them up a little bit. It's kind of like a foot massage thing. And then you don't even have to believe like me. If you want me to wash your feet, I'll do it for you. It was a big deal. I'm not going to do your nails. It's not that kind of thing. But I do that on the 14th. And then on the 15th, during the day, everybody's, just first here. I'm often working on making unleavened bread. And so for the dinner for the 15th. And then, late afternoon, we start the fire for cooking, and or depending on how many people are coming, which way I'm doing it. But and then we roast lamb, and if I have asparagus or green beans, we roast those. I like the asparagus best, so I'm hoping I'm going to be able to have asparagus this year. I did see some the last time I went shopping, so my asparagus bed, I did finally get it planted, but it's not ready. So hopefully we have that. That's for the dinner on the 15th. And I'm thinking that I'm going to change the get together to just a 4-day thing in the future. So, but it's fine with me if you want to come stay until the 23rd. We'll figure it out. It's nice to have company. And then hopefully my rigs will be in the right shape with, you know, all my build out and whatever for camping with, that I then can like go if I want to, right? I don't know. We'll see what happens. But if you want to come to the dinner, you want to participate in the foot washing, you want to do any of those things with me, you must contact me first. I will not allow you on my property if I have not heard from you first. So just send me an email and put in all caps, put GTG so I find it. And if you're asking a question in an email to me, put in all caps, video or blog or something that tells me where you're coming from. Because if it's not in all caps, I've missed some before. And in fact, there were a couple that went to spam and I didn't even know it. So if you would do that for me, that's helpful. And if it's just a question and you don't care where, just write in all caps the word question, you know, or live or video or something, you know, that helps me find things. Okay, I don't know. I've gone on, and I haven't even hardly sipped at the coffee, which is cold, and I do not have a microwave. Oh, hi, Artsy. Okay, you're welcome. And Artsy, I answered your questions earlier because I believe that you might be Sandy. And so I answered them earlier, so you'll have to go back and rewatch this as it gets. It records and then posts and stays here. So I'll listen to you. Okay, great. Any other? Oh, you know what? Do any of you have experience with iOverlander? Because I'm gonna start. Oh, it's good to see you, Sandy. I think I'm going to start trying to use, now that I have the better cell phone signal and all of that. I think I'm going to start to see if I can load iOverlander and if I can start to use it. I believe it's got a lot of great information out there from everything I know. I tried to use it before. So, okay. Y'all have a great week. Whoops, I could do it this way so you could see the color. Is this a Catholic tradition? That's a good question, Iris. No, it is not. I was raised in the Worldwide Church of God. This is a Abrahamic tradition that is found biblically, and I have a belief that if Christ did things, that he's our example and that I should do them as well. And so there's an example that there's more than one example that Christ did these things right up until his death. And I have not been able to prove, in spite of the people who think I'm going to hell for keeping Sabbath on Saturday, I have not had anyone be able to prove to me that I should not do the things that Christ did. So I'm following his example and I'm doing what he did when he was alive. And if it's wrong, I'll find out. But for now, it's my belief. I believe it strongly enough that I have lost some friends over the fact that I won't keep Sunday and whatever else. But, you know, different strokes. I didn't lose friends because I told them to go away. I lost friends because the friends said to me, you're going to hell because you don't believe that Christ did away with all that stuff. And I don't. I don't believe that he did away with some things. So I have friends who are Torah keepers. I have friends who call themselves Messianic Christians. I know friends that are Messianic Jews. I have I know people who are Orthodox, lots of different things. And anyone is welcome if they feel called to come. I don't have a, I don't, how do I put this in a, I don't have a belief that tells me not to rub elbows with somebody else that believes different. What your belief is between you and God is up to you. Um, I do, however, believe that there are people that I need to separate myself from. And the people that I have to separate myself from are the people who have proved to me that they are not respectful or okay, I'm not finding good words, but I have to set my boundaries. And there are some people there. There's a couple. There's a there's a neighbor of mine that I would not allow to be here, but that's because of personal boundaries and personal safety issues, even if it's mental health safety. Um, but other than that, it's the same thing as if it's a known drunk situation, it needs to be off my property. You know, I don't know how else to say that. Yes. Um, and so, wow, I really got into this today, but that's my belief system. So you're more than welcome to be at the get together and do what you need to do. When it's on my property, I have to set my boundaries a certain way because I feel that God gave me this and He gave it to me so I could share it. And He gave me what I'm able to share. And as long as you're respectful of that, we don't have an issue. Um, Anything beyond that, we'll deal with it when it comes up, right? But there is one particular neighbor that is, there's a safety issue where I'm concerned, and that person will not be allowed. No. And anybody who's a known drunk, they won't be allowed. Yeah. Mm. Exactly. Exactly. And and I believe what your belief is, it's totally between you and whatever you believe in. You do you, I get to do me. But because I'm inviting you to my home, you do you in your space, even when you camp here. And you respect me because I've invited you to my home. And you respect me by following the boundaries I've set up. If I ask you not to dig cat holes, which I will ask you to do, don't dig cat holes. If I ask you to please have your bread inside your own rig during my celebration, please do that. I won't ask you to leave for that, but I'll remind you and you'll go, oh, I forgot, I'm sorry. And you'll run back. And that's fine. Absolutely fine. If we were in a public camping situation, then I would be making sure that my rig didn't have the bread in it, and I wouldn't care. But it's my get together and my property, a whole other rules. So, okay, I have gone on and on and on and on and on, and you got a lot, and I'm a little nervous about this stuff being out there in the greater world, but it needs to be out there because I've had a lot of misunderstandings about my get-togethers, and a lot of people love the get-togethers, and but I do think that in the future I'm cutting them back to 4 days. That doesn't mean that me and my closer friends or me and people who believe similar to me might not stay together for a longer period of time. But that's the way that's what's going to happen. So, um, exactly. And where my stuff comes from, Sandy, absolutely where my stuff comes from. So we're cool, anyways. So you have a wonderful day, everybody, and you know, thumbs up, like, subscribe, all that stuff. Keep watching, hang in there with me as we keep going, because I think I'm finally getting some equipment that's actually working. I didn't lose connection during this whole hour and a half. Woo. So y'all have a great day, and I'll see you soon. Comment and have a wonderful day. Oh, and kiss your way through life. Keep it simple, silly. Because why would we call anybody, including ourselves, stupid?